Okay. It says we are live. Um, oh, shoot. There we go. Yay. First time ever. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. Today is Thursday, November the 14th, 2024. And it's very interesting energy today. I feel as though I was very busy last night. Um, my body feels like it's run a marathon. Interestingly enough, I checked in with my housemate this morning, and she said that she felt like there was an anvil on her chest. Well, I think there's another little something communicative device offering the opportunity of upgrade to my physical vessel again. And my body has engaged, and we're having the conversation. mm, Little hot clove tea on the subject this morning instead of coffee for me. Hope you'll get your beverage of choice and tune in. Mm, 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 mm. So anyway, let's see who wants to come out and play today. I think first of all, this shaman deck is has been yelling at me since I woke up actually. The the elemental realm has long held a fascination for me because I feel as though in some way the elementals and the fae are of the same vibratory makeup. I don't know how to explain that, but for me personally, those terms feel interchangeable. The elementals are a multidimensional uh, expression of the fae, or the other way around. I'm not sure how that goes exactly, but I feel as though, and there's lots of elemental spirits that express themselves into this realm as fae. And so um, that realm has been calling me back actually to into recognition of it ever since I'm a child and actually turned away from it. Now, where did I put that? I bet it's all the way over there. Oh man, it's so interesting that this come up. Okay, so I received this is the card that came out, by the way. This is Sky Rainbow Sun. Oh wow. A longtime viewer turned friend from the channel was doing sidewalk chalk art with her children, with her daughters, and she was inspired to do this one chalk rendering and she sent me a picture of it. Either that or I think she no, she recreated it for me as a piece of art. I actually have the printout of it. She took a picture of that and sent it to me. And it looks so very much like this right here in many ways. And the fact, and I haven't thought of her or her children or we haven't been in touch in quite some time. I've actually had a couple conversations with her and her husband. They know that they are a twin flame couple, and so very interesting that this come up because I also just completed another chapter of the Jeshua channelings, and it talks about yesterday was male and female energy, and today I recorded sexuality and spirituality. And for me, in those two conversations or two channelings, it speaks very specifically to the marriage of the male and female energies. Well, it also speaks about the ancient struggle of those two energies, but also the sacred marriage within of those two energies, which we are having being offered the opportunity to bring into our vessels and integrate in a balanced fashion. And consciously, if it's being done unconsciously, it can look a little unbalanced and feel unsettling to the being, is what I keep getting about that. Okay, so Sky Rainbow Sun is card number 74 in this. But I really wish I understood this card index thing, man, because Sky Rainbow Sun itself is card number or on page 74, but the card is a 58, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let's see, what is 58? 5 plus 8 is 13, isn't that correct? So that would be a 4 numerologically. If I got that wrong, will somebody please fact check me and put it in the chat so I can make sure? But I believe that's correct. Yes, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So 1 and 3 is 4. So this is a very foundational energy right here as far as the card number. And again, I don't understand why they have a number on the card, but it's in a different spot in the book. So card number, the page is number 74, which is an 11. So isn't that interesting? Let's take both of those numbers together for a moment and see about how 11 is all about mastery, right? It's about a mastery ship, and it can also call folks' attention to things. Okay. Rainbow, moon, sun. Here we go. You are a complex, dynamic being. Embrace the many facets that combine to make you you. Do not settle on a single aspect of yourself and then go forming some one-dimensional identity around it. What? I'm sorry, anybody else seeing that on the world stage? Do you not see our collective working that out on the world stage? You're way too lit for that. The spirits are asking you to embrace and to be all of you. Who cares if people don't get it? Life is asking you to celebrate your many sides and to give voice to them. When you are fulfilled and expressed as all of who you are with total appreciation and acceptance, then that energy radiates off you and illuminates the most magical possibilities, not just for you, but for everyone around you. Oh my. Your authenticity will lead to riches when you allow the entirety that is you to be seen and heard and fully expressed in this world. Step out of the shadows and let your light shine, my love, every last drop of it. Now, this is so very interesting to me. Again, I came, just came from doing the recording. I did the male and female energy yesterday, and I did sexuality and spirituality today. And this card covers those two chapters entirely for me, from my perspective. This is, and so I can't unsee that. And especially because of the timing now, I have it set to release these chapters one per day. But if just one of you have been following along and you want, I'll release them all. I'm not through recording them all. I am uploading them on my other channel and I'm going to release them all at one time over there. But the fact that especially the one that talks about sexuality and spirituality, because I just read that, that is so echoed right here. And so many of us that call ourselves light workers are so misinformed. I I have I took just calling myself a dark worker because in truth, I know I'm hunting for the darkest stuff in me to bring it to the light. And I'm only doing that for me. And I'm doing it out loud. So you see what it looks like. And you can do it for yourself or not. You can hit me up and ask me how I've done whatever. I'm happy to share. But make no mistake, each being will find their own way. Anybody that's, telling you different, well, you got to decide whether you're going to believe them or not. I mean, that's also true, truly up on the planet at this point, too. It's like, I hope you've been working on your discernment because between AI and deep fakes and all kinds of other stuff. The only one I know for a fact that ain't gonna lie to me. Well, and honestly, if I'm still a little programmed, I have lied to me. So, hey, 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 there's that to contend with too. Wow, I just adore this. This is one that I actually was shown by my housemate's boyfriend, Ernesto. And it's like, wow, this is quite the deck here. Has an awful lot in it. And well, I'd like to give a big shout out because it looks like there are four folks participate or, having a look in. I hope you all are doing well. Um, Here in North Carolina, it's quite chilly and wet this morning, sort of gloomy, but it really has an air of expectancy in some ways and an air of quiet restfulness in others for me. Once this live is complete, the rest of my day is going to be spent crocheting. All of my little characters that I crochet are are gone now. I've 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 allowed myself to run out, so I have to re-up. This one, I made a mistake on his tail, so he hangs here as my mascot. But these little guys, the little amigurumi characters that I do, I love I love having them to say, "Hey, want a treat?" and just offering them to beings that look like they could use some uplift wherever I'm guided. Let's put it that way. And so I have to re up my supply. So today is going to be, after this, a day of rest and some crochet. So let's see what else the energy has in store for me and the collective. Anyone that's drawn here, there is something here for you more than likely. It won't be all of it by any means. Ooh, the right choice. Card number 29, which is an 11 numerologically. This one always reminds me of the Christ energy for real. Just it exudes off of it, is all I'm saying. It's that, for me, I see the second coming as an energy that is far reaching and pervasive and available to all who choose it because there's no forcing of that. There is no, I guess I just for me the danger of thinking that somebody's coming through the clouds is, Now that we know there's blue beam technology, I personally just don't think that's what's going to happen, especially uh, since the validations of this book right here. I was the best little Christian going coming up as a kid until there was a whole bunch of stuff that I read in the Bible that I just could not reconcile under any sort of circumstances. And when you think critically and you see stuff like that, it starts making you look for other information. And so I, at a very young age, started looking for other things, right? And I found a lot of truths, but I also found a lot of distortions in almost every, well, no, in every single thing I've looked at, which is one of the reasons why I call myself a puzzle piece collector. And now I see what that was, those pings, why those puzzle pieces stuck with me. I've had folks say, wow, how do you remember that? You read that, I don't know how long ago, and you remember that because it pinged, because it meant something somewhere within my vessel. And it was a truth that I obviously absorbed for, and it could be a truth for me and not you, because boy, that has certainly happened. So this card is card number 29, The Right Choice. This is from my Rumi deck. Stay close to those who know about the heart. Choose the shade of a tree that is in constant bloom. Don't meander aimlessly among the herb sellers and potion vendors. Go directly to the shop that sells nothing but sweets. Don't sit waiting by every boiling pot to have your plate filled. Not every boiling pot is cooking what you want. Not every sugar cane is filled with sugar. Not every down has an up. Not every eye has vision. Not every sea contains pearls. Rumi. Wow. Rumi was a pretty wise old Sufi man, you know, which is why his poetry has lasted for so long, I feel. Just like the same with the words of the Christed one. For me, they always held an oomph that the rest of that book never did, if that makes any sense. Within you, I recognize my most trusted friend. Ah, we go back a long way to before that moment when time began. We knew each other then, even before time was born. I really truly feel that's a true statement there. So I say, hello, my old and dear friend. So lovely for us to meet again. And I feel how your heart responds with a wave of love, for it is that love that is you, my most trusted friend. On the path of love, there is not so much wrong and right in the moral sense, so much as what is wrong or right for you. Boy, oh boy, I know that this is true because something can be right for me and wrong for you, right for you and wrong for me. And I, that was, okay, that was one of the biggest sticking points I ever had because I thought if I was right and you, then you had to be wrong because the truth is the truth is the truth. But in a multi-dimensional setting, which is where we live, hate to break it to everybody, um, that's just not so. It is so and it's not so, all at the same time, which I know is a little tricky wicket there, but it's the way it goes. So, on the path of love, there is not so much wrong and right in the moral sense, so much as what is wrong or right for you. The mind cannot help so much here. Only the heart can speak such truths. The mind may reject it, recoil, analyze, and find all the reasons why the simple truth, the right choice of the heart, cannot possibly work and only lead to pain. That is what the mind does rather well, actually. But it doesn't mean the right choice. The heart choice becomes incorrect. It means rather that the heart has outsmarted the mind, and the mind will need to bow to the heart, even without understanding its sometimes impenetrable mysteries. Or one can choose to stay in inner conflict, fighting against the right choice. But eventually, love will prevail, and the way forward must be taken. So, you can give up what you have planned, believed, or decided. Let the heart wisdom that silently and constantly broadcasts its pure and true intention into the fertile womb of the universe lead the way instead. It will lead you, well, see, the heart hasn't been corrupted like the mind. It is the mind that was programmed and conditioned from the time we entered this realm. And it's completely different for each being. It will lead you along the right path to the right house where sits the right master for you. He grabs you in a bear hug and gently whispers into your ear, "What took you so long? I've been waiting for you since the day you were born. Now we are together. It is time for us to play." It's kind of the way I felt when I met when and looking back on it now, when Lisa and I first met, it was like, I don't know. I actually, for the first time, heard an actual audible voice in my head that said twin when she was dancing around she had my hands and we were dancing around my living room for the meeting each other for the first time after doing all the online stuff, right? And I actually heard that in my head. What does that mean? I think it means just this, right? And for me, it did because it's like I recognize that my my voice, my inner, higher, larger, greater self, speaks to me in ways it thinks I can, that it will draw me and help me expand. Sometimes I misinterpret that because I'm not fully present, and there's still schmutz on my lens. I'm cleaning my lenses from all the trauma, but there's still schmutz. So as this communication comes in, it gets distorted and I don't understand it properly. So for me, I see my inner schmutz has to be, polished a little better, right? Sometimes that's easy to see that way when I see that distortion coming, or I sense it as something not quite right. But it was that same feeling that I'm getting as I read this here. It was like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and it's really a reciprocal thing. It's not everybody wants to put the teacher on a pedestal, but the truth of the matter is we are all teachers and we are all students of each other. Everybody has a translator, and I have more than one that helps me translate what I'm moving through, right? By my interactions with other beings in these conscious conversations that we have. It helps me to process the moving through the confusion of not understanding, not understanding who I am, and moving into a space of consciousness where I can consider all that I'm being offered up as, hey, here's a little piece of who you are, and here's another little piece of who you are, and let's think about this piece over here, and it's nobody doing that but me, right? So, what took you so long? I've been waiting for you since the day you were born. Now we're together, it's time for us to play. It is said that one man's meat is another man's poison. To base your choices on what others have chosen for themselves may end up killing you. I mean, that's a very real thing. Better to take your risks on the angel of your own heart, wise as that being is, and dance to your own heart rhythm instead. There may be fear if others seem to be dancing different steps, but beloved, you know that that is just because every heart has its own unique rhythm. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest word. If everybody could really take that in, we are all very unique beings. So much so that sometimes we can't even relate to each other in the right way because we misunderstand each other so often. Oh my God. Even though we think we understand the words coming out of each other's mouths, we do not. Not fully. There may be fear if others seem to be dancing different steps, but beloved, you know that is just because every heart has its own unique rhythm, and yours doesn't want to waltz so much as to tango. So why not allow it to be thus without fear or doubt? This oracle comes with a message for you. In your heart, you know what holds meaning for you. You may or may not have a grand vision to go along with that meaning as yet, but deep within, you know what is without value and what holds value for you. You were born with those values intact in your heart. And whatever confusion has arisen for you along the way, read that programming, conditioning, indoctrination, belief systems, and whatever confusion has arisen for you along the way is just where the values of others have transfused into your own blood. It is time for a transfusion of holy light into that blood to be cleansed and purified, restored to its integrity, and filled with passion for what is rightfully yours, your unique passion and purpose. And that uniqueness is why I continually say to move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents. Because what if that is your purpose? What if that is where your passion is, and you're not allowing yourself to go there for some reason, whatever that reason is? And I know a lot of people will say, well, we can't all be in joy all the time. There's more than one perspective to hold on everything. And so if that statement is being made, then perhaps there's something that blocks that for one. I don't know that. Again, everybody is unique, but for me, that's how that's been working. If you have been concerned about your path and what steps to take next, this oracle comes as an omen of good things headed your way: clarity, reassurance, truth, and revelation. Don't hold on to a belief system or a vision if it appears to be tossed on its head. Let things go the way they will, and good fortune will prevail for you. That vision might actually have been upside down all this time and suddenly able to right itself and be born for you if allowed to topple. Hmm. Or perhaps there is a more fulfilling version of your vision lurking in its remnants to be scooped up by your soul with its hawk vision and eagle deafness. Trust that if you are being drawn away from a tantalizing sweet shop, there is more delicious array of confection just around the corner for you. So yes, have your tantrum if you must, but you will be sheepish soon When you realize the hand of the great beloved that removes is the same hand that bestows even greater gifts. Wow, I've had that experience myself, right? So, thinking I'm going to do something and then it ends up that it's not, and I want to get all disappointed and all that kind of stuff. But now I don't feel like that because I know I keep being shown on the inside that there's so much at play, right? It's a free will universe, and there are still portions of me that I haven't met yet, or it's all about divine timing and where one is pulling these things toward them. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm going to cut this one kind of short this morning because I'm ready to begin crocheting. I feel a day of childlike wonder in store in a different kind of way, and in a relaxful, um, meditative way. I created a new character, and oh, did I already? No, here. Oh, he's not quite finished. This is my own recipe, and I'm so excited about him. He's a jellyfish. And I have to tell you, I'm eager to share that I had an experience where I was sending um, this new guy, and he was in blue, the first one, uh, to a child, and I didn't consciously reach out to her. I didn't consciously try to feel for what she might like or want. Um, but all of a sudden, I was attracted to a recipe. I call these recipes for a ghost, and I made a ghost, but I also saw within that ghost that I could create my own version of a jellyfish. And so I was inspired to create this jellyfish to send to this little girl that lives in the next state away from me. I've never met her, never been in her field. She's 5, I think. And when Lisa brought it to her, she was wearing a t-shirt with a blue jellyfish on it. Okay, you might say that's a coincidence, okay? And if you have to, that's cool. You can do that. But that's not what I see. That's not what I feel. And did I know it right here when I was creating it? No. Did I send out psychic feelers? Quite possibly. If thought thinks within itself, and I sat in my chair and I was thinking about this beautiful, wonderful, intelligently source filled little being that I've heard many stories about because she's apparently brilliant. And I'm thinking about her as I'm crocheting, and this happens. It's at least possible and plausible that that's a form of telepathy. A lot of people wouldn't classify that because we're taught that telepathy is like talking on the phone through movies and books and things like that. But we really have to sort of loosen our grip on what we think actually takes place, and see that nothing is really as it seems on any sort of level. Mm-mm. Not on any sort of level. Well, that's it. I'm going to let y'all go. I just wanted to share that story because to me, that is one of the coolest things about being on this quest, about becoming more present and picking up and noticing puzzle pieces. For me, it's fascinating and fun, and it's piqued the little child, the inner child in me to want to go off on more quests, So, um, and I'm 63. I get to if I want to. There's the last thing of the day. So, y'all be well. I hope that you will move in your own way towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It truly is just a matter of perspective for me. And if I allow myself to slow down and step out of whatever energy I find myself in the moment, if I'm having a moment that I can't seem to find joy, and try to see it from a different perspective. I here lately I always see it from another valid point of view as well. And it can be very, very, very freeing to do that. So until we meet again, my friend.